May God's peace be with all of you. I'm very grateful for this family conference in the European continent and the opportunity that was given to me by the family department leader, Pastor Adolesio Fontes, to share this topic. It's about children getting to know their parents. First, let's talk about parents as our friends. For I know the thoughts that I think toward you, says the Lord, thoughts of peace and not of evil, to give you an expected end. Jeremiah 29:11. Right from birth, a baby can recognize his mother's face, the voice, the smell, and every day the senses of a little baby are growing more in recognizing mother's feelings, the love and care. How do children understand and see their parents when they are getting older? Of course, parents mean all to their child. It means security, harbor of love, care, understanding, and source of shelter, food, clothing, as well counseling and teaching. In the page of Commandment for Parenthood, they write, what is the parent's obligation toward their children? True parents love their children. Love goes beyond taking care of them. It is the concern you have for their future and their present. It is your watchful eye over the children who are sick or troubled, the care you give when their feelings are hurt, the time you take out of your schedule to spend time with them, and it's the protection that surrounds them and keeps them safe. Parents listen. They take the time to understand the troubles of their children and help them work through issues that have developed during their day. As a parent, you must discipline your child. Children are new to the world and do not see the dangers. And also, you need to give them boundaries to see between good and bad, the right and wrong, or danger and no danger. They do not have life experience. Your child is constantly looking for the boundaries and how they can push them. Parents must teach their child the difference between right and wrong, or good and bad, and show them they can face dangers. When they don't obey, parents must discipline them. Depending on their age and the attitude of what sort of discipline is okay, this could mean a pop on the button, time out, taking away an activity or object, or grounding for a period of time. This discipline helps to reinforce that the child isn't allowed to do certain things. It's also good to reinforce when your child does things right, by rewarding him on occasion with a small treat, hug, or just by spending time with them, taken from education.gov. This is a resume of common understanding, what parents should do for their children. Let's go a little further. The love of a parent is compared with the love of God. Can a woman forget her sucking child, that she should not have compassion on the son of her womb? Behold, I have graven thee up in the palm of my hands. Isaiah 49:15 and 16. But there comes the age when children don't see anymore the care of their parents. It's the years of them becoming independent, the adolescent years. They forget about their care, they start to see mistakes of their parents and think they know it better. Often they take a direction of rejecting their parents instead of continuing showing them respect and care. But parents, what is the secret that parents can still find respect, obedience, and empathy in those difficult years and also in the years that are coming? We have just mentioned several factors, as giving them shelter, love, care, discipline, understanding, and as we know, the secular institutions don't mention the most important element, which is to teach them the fear of God, which means wisdom and success for all our lives. Well, there are many factors that help us to have respectful and obedient children. Let us look at one factor. Greater love has no one than this, that someone lay down his life for his friends. I like to emphasize the importance of the friendship that Jesus has to us. His full service was to bring us a better life. He was even willing to give us his life for us. He calls us his friends, and we call him our Father. To see this closer in parent-children relationship, I like to analyze together a research that was done in Romania on 226 families. The children were asked, imagine that you are in another place and you can choose your ideal mother and father. They ask questions. Which of these mothers would you choose and why? Which of them would you never choose and why not? For girls, which one would you want to look like when you grow up and why? And the boys, which of them would you like to marry later and why? Then for the girls, which of them would you never want to look like and why not? And for the boys, which of them would you never like to marry and why not? Which of these mothers most resembles your real mother and why? And which one is the least resembling your real mother? So, and on the photos appeared these pictures of mothers. The first was the mother friend, the closest to them. The second, the sweet mother, the mother who spoils her children. The third is the fashionable mother. The fourth is the busy mother. And number 5 was the calm mother. Another picture, number 6, was the child mother, who is childish, plays with them. And number 7, the energetic mother, the mother hen type. And the last one was the authoritarian mother. Let's look at the results. The girls, here we see that the boys chose as an ideal mother the mother friend photo. And the girls also chose the mother friend photo, as well the overall group. In the one that resembles the real mother, the boys chose the busy mother. And the girls as well chose the busy mother, as well the overall group chose the busy mother, most likely how the real mothers are. As the least wanted mother of all of them chose the sweet mother or the one that spoils their children. The mother that resembles their mother least. For the boys, it was the calm mother. For the girls, it was the fashionable mother. Now the girls would like to resemble later is the mother friend photo. The one the boys would like to marry later is also the mother friend photo. And also the overall group chose this overall friend mother. The mother that resembles the most least was for the boys the calm mother. And the mother friend mother was the one that was chosen for everyone. Doesn't this real research tell us parents a bunch? We see that children have a pattern of an ideal mother, and it expresses the urgent needs and wants of a child, a mother or a father as a friend. And we saw that the biggest enemy is the busyness of the mother or parent. And we learned that the reality is that through concerns about profession and cares of life, mothers neglect to make their roles as a friend in the relationship with their children. Also, it mentions in the research the most important influence of family environment on children's development comes from the family atmosphere, which can be supporting and loving or can be full of conflicts. That's taken from Spiru Haret University in Brasov, Romania. Let's keep this first secret how children can get to know their parents in mind. We need to build up a good relationship and friendship with our children if we want to get their love, respect, and obedience. But if their least choice is a mother that is busy, what does this mean for their children? The children can help lighten the burdens of the parents, so they can take the time to be friends with them and spend quality time together with you and feel relieved from stress and work, and the friendship can grow. The second secret is don't spoil the children. Remember, all children liked the least the sweet mother that spoils the children. For this, be firm and require obedience of love. And here I would like to extend a little bit. Today, parents that work think they can make up their time with their children in giving them gifts, and they start buying whatever pleases them. But this is not what they need. They long for love. They long for clear guidance. And they need boundaries. They want to feel secure. For these mothers, if anyhow possible, stay home for your children's sake. Spend time in nature where your children can run, observe, relax, be healthy. There is no better teacher than what you are for your child. Watch them, counsel them, discipline them with love, have regularity, but be also creative in developing projects and ideas with them. Work diligently, get up early to do important work, to have enough time to be with your children. When we ask obedience from them, we also need to understand a few things. Sometimes our children are not obedient because we have trained our kids to ignore us, because we are not serious in what we mean, or we have too many requirements that they can keep. For this is important that we explain and repeat the rules, and we are firm in them. We also need to be prepared how to react if rules are not observed, and need to set expectations and limits that are acceptable to your child's age. He that spared his rod hated his son, but he that loved him chastened him betimes, says Proverbs 13:24. When parents permit a child to show them disrespect in childhood, allowing them to speak pettishly and even harshly, there will be a dreadful harvest to be reaped in after years. When parents fail to require prompt and perfect obedience in their children, they fail to lay the right foundation of character in their little ones. They prepare their children to dishonor them when they are old, and bring sorrow to their hearts when they are nearing their grave. Unless the grace of Christ changes the hearts and transforms the characters of their children. Taken from Adventist Home. There is not any moment that the parents should permit their child to show disrespect. This needs to be corrected immediately. Said one of her mother, "I always hated my mother, and my mother hated me." These words stand registered in the books of heaven to be opened and revealed in the day of judgment, when everyone shall be rewarded according to his works. This should never happen, that one of family members should reach the point to talk like this. Another reason why our children may not obey is because they may be upset, if in anything, and we need to talk to them and act as a friend until they open to us and we can help them. The child may also be disobedient because it might be asking for more relationship with you. This is why it is frustrated, disobedient, and disrespectful. Furthermore, we need to understand that the child's play is his work, and this is one way how they learn. Children need more time to react than we do. Let us be patient, but not becoming weak in our requirements. And force creates pushback. They may be rebellious. If you drag or kick them or scream on them, they are resisting rather than choosing to obey willingly. Correcting love, written in Ephesians, that fathers should not provoke their children to wrath, but bring them up in the nurture and admonition of the Lord. So children have to come to the point that their relationship with you is more important than what they want at this moment. Your love and patience should bring them to the point to obey by love. Every time they do that, they strengthen their brain's ability to submit themselves to what you ask of them. We read in John 14:21, "He that hath my commandments and keepeth them, he is it that loveth me." We see in this Bible verse that first comes love and obedience follows. Obedience only works when it is done willingly and not by force. For this is it important to maintain a good dialogue and share personal time. This we can do when we create conversation atmosphere, we drink with them, we sit with them, ask questions, talk about their school, their play, their future. And let's pray with them when we see them sad, upset, disappointed, or angry. We share personal time when we play with them and become as a child. When we play with them, we have a good time together. We also share personal time when we hear their ideas and wishes and include some of them in our projects and schedules. When we are involved in their hobbies and joys, when we keep up bedtime conversation. There is another point I like to mention, which is teaching instead of insulting. Parents have expectations and use critics if things are done not adequate. To avoid this, let us instruct the children properly about what we expect from them. Practice with them the chores and what you expect from them. It might be to brush their teeth or making the bed after getting up, or even be in charge of doing the shopping. So show them exactly how to do it. Repeat the same often, and don't blame them if things don't look as you expect them, but let them be responsible. Let us also understand our children. Beside the 10 Commandments, there was always the mercy seat. And beside the rules in our homes, we need to practice compassion, forgiveness, and grace. This does not mean that they are allowed to break any of the commandments or rules we have set, but it includes to understand your child's temperament, emotions, personality, qualities, attention span, distractibility, how they can adapt to new situations, if they are slow to warm up or shy, or difficult and challenging, explosive, stubborn and intense, if they are sick or have even chronic illnesses or emotional and physical stresses, then they need special care. Understand your child also in their learning styles and way of reaction. Hear them, have them explain their view, and show them your view and evaluate with them. Let us be sensitive to their pains and worries and be kind and compassionate. It is also important to motivate in early age and to give them small responsibilities, chores or tasks to do. Keep them always busy, not only in their childhood, but also as they grow in adolescence and youth. You may reward them once a while and show them what God can do through them. It says in Luke 16, verse 10, "He that is faithful in that which is least is faithful also in much, and he that is unjust in the least is unjust also in much." There is a third secret for married couples. It is the relation between husband and wife. And the testimony says, the best way to educate children to respect their father and mother is to give them the opportunity of seeing the father offering kindly attentions to the mother, and the mother rendering respect and reverence to the father. It is by beholding love in their parents that children are led to obey the 5th commandment and to heed the injunction, "Children, obey your parents in the Lord, for this is right." So our example counts. Let us now go to our children, our joy. Our obligation to our parents never ceases. Our love for them and theirs for us is not measured by years or distance, and our responsibility can never be set aside. It is important that a young family, when they leave their mom and dad and build up their own home and boundaries, so it is important that they do this, but this does not mean that they should forget about their parents. It happens that young couples think, now we are married and can live far from our parents. Our parents are already old and they don't need us. We have our own families now. This is a wrong concept. It is the children's responsibility to respect and care for their parents. Children as well grandchildren are the joy of their parents. The obligation resting upon children to honor their parents is of lifelong duration. If their parents are feeble and old, the affection and attention of the children should be bestowed in proportion to the need of father and mother. Nobly, decidedly, the children should shape their course of action, even if it requires self-denial, so that every sort of anxiety and perplexity may be removed from the minds of the parents. The fifth commandment requires to give them love and tenderness also, to lighten their cares, to guard their reputation, and to succor and comfort them in old age. Children should feel that they are indebted to their parents, who have watched over them in infancy and nursed them in sickness. They should realize that their parents have suffered much anxiety on their account. We see how much Jesus loved his parents, and we read about this in Philippians 2:8. And being found in fashion as a man, he humbled himself and became obedient unto death, even the death of the cross. In these last days, children are so noticed for their disobedience and disrespect that God has especially noted it, and it constitutes a sign that the end is near. Adventist Home, page 293. When we look at Romans chapter 13, we see the fifth commandment expanded, that learning obedience and submission to the higher authority is a blessing. If a child learns obedience, it will be respectful to their parents, to their teacher, to their boss, to their siblings that are older, to elderly people, to authorities, even when by themselves carrying responsibilities and above everything, obedience to God and His Word. This is a chapter everyone should read when reflecting on obedience, Romans 13. I had a situation last year in my home with my youngest. She saw the liberty and privileges adult siblings have and started to act like she can also afford it, to be free, how to schedule her day and how to do as she pleases. As we told her that she can't do it as she wants, she felt quite troubled and insisted. I took her aside, we prayed, and I taught her. And I asked, what means obedience? When we do what any authority asks us to do. And what means authority? We all are subject to any authority, even the president of a country. Who is the authority we have to respect? First, God, second, the parents, third, anyone that is elder than we are, and also the government, the teacher, the pastor, our boss, and so on. Authorities lead us. They help us to grow. They have more experience than what we have. An experienced person is someone who does things many times over and over until they know it by memory, in and out, and they barely do mistakes in this. For this, the parent's experience says that things will come out wrongly if you don't obey. Do we know everything? We are all growing in experience, but we all depend on each other's experience, advice, and counsel if we want to be successful. For this, there is not any moment when we can say that we don't need to be respectful to any authority over us. As I explained this to her, her attitude changed completely. And this helped a lot. It's helped her very much to see that there are boundaries that she cannot pass. Children, your obedience and respect will be rewarded throughout your life. It seems it is a must and a burden for many. It took me long also to understand my father when he said the obedience is the most important thing for children. He was right. It is a blessing that brings success and an eternal and joyful life. You spare many, many sorrows. Jesus was subject to his parents, and he went down with them and came to Nazareth, and he was subject unto them, says in Luke 2. This was his success for future progress. He obeyed his parents, he loved them, he learned from them, but above all things, he also was obedient to his heavenly Father. Parents also make mistakes. All parents make mistakes. Always we should know our parents love us. If we feel anger toward our parent, we never should say out, but be patient and respectful and with courtesy. Let's find uplifting words toward our parent and pray for them. Show an attitude of love and respect, and our relationship will grow well. Parents want to see our children prosper. Jesus' mother, Mary, wanted to see her son using his talents. She said to the servants, "Whatsoever he says unto you, do it." And many times the parents even do as Mary did. They go ahead and push their youth into their call or their career. But as Jesus, that seemed to feel that it is not time yet, he was obedient to his mother. And the first miracle happened. So parents support the service of their adult children and are connected with them. Even if you have your own job, home, and family, your parents still feel connected with you. Mary was there where Jesus preached. Mothers don't miss any word of their children. It says in Luke 2 also about Mary, but his mother kept all these sayings in her heart. Mary was with Jesus when he was born and was with him in his most difficult hour at the cross when he died. Parents don't forget about their children. Shouldn't the children also not forget about their parents? Mothers understand what their children don't say. Can you feel with your parents? Do you see what they have done for you and are still doing for you? The same as we have learned that the friendship between parents and children need to be established to have their respect and good development, in the same manner, in the advanced years of their parents, it is important that the children maintain and eventually establish the relation that is needed with the elderly parents. Visit them, invite them, call them, ask them for counsel, ask them for their needs, their health. They might need financial support or just an uplifting word. They enter the age when they feel insecure in different ways, emotionally, spiritually, and physically. You need to find solutions with them. A story tells us about the grandfather with his son. The father asked, "What is that sound at the window?" The son answered, "It is a crow." Again the father asked, "What is that sound at the window?" And the son answered, "It is a crow." And this repeated another 2 times, until the son became angry and screamed, "I already told you, it is a crow." "Today," said the father, "my little son of age 3 was sitting with me on the sofa when the crow was sitting on the window. My son asked me 23 times what it was, and I replied to him all 23 times that it was a crow. I hugged him lovingly each time he asked me the same question again and again for 23 times. I did not at all feel irritated. I rather felt affection for my innocent child." While the little child asked him 23 times, "What is this?" the father had felt no irritation in replying to the same question all 23 times. And when today the father asks his son the same question just 4 times, the son felt irritated and annoyed. So, if your parents attain old age, do not repulse them or look at them as a burden, but speak to them a gracious word, humble and kind to them. Give them not only food and shelter, but especially love and sympathy. You are doing the best missionary work that you can do. It says in 1 Timothy 5:4, "But if any provides not for his own, and especially for those of his own house, he has denied the faith and is worse than an infidel." Let us think in our parents. Let us have them present in our lives. Let us find ways and make plans how to care for them in their aged years, and we will receive a satisfaction in our souls and the peace that Jesus already had when he was at the cross and said to his mother and John, "Woman, Behold thy son. Then says he to the disciple, Behold thy mother. And from that hour that disciple took her unto his own home. John 19:26-27. Jesus would have loved to take his mother in her age in his home, to care for her, but it was not given to him. Still, in his hour of pain and distress, he did not forget of his mother, but he remembered all she had done for him and arranged the best care for her. Let us also have this love for our aged parents, as the parents have to their children. Amen.